welcome. My name is Lisa Rykert. I am a life and career coach. I have my own business called Kula Coaching. And I also used to be an employee here at UC Berkeley for 7.5 years. And then I had my next opportunity at work, which was my dream to start my own business, doing what I love to do, which is really working with individuals on their personal and professional goals. So I am thrilled to be back here at UC Berkeley at the NOW conference and to be just sharing with you on this journey. So speaking of journeys today, what if you could take an amazing journey that offers to broaden your perspective about how you think about yourself, your life, your present, and your future? Would that be amazing? All right, what if on this journey you could meet an amazing travel companion? And this person you get to know, and you find that this person is just so talented, and you admire this person and are inspired by this person, and this person becomes your lifelong travel companion. Okay? What if you could meet that person on this journey? How would that be? And what if, as a result of this journey, you came away with a specific plan to create a more wonderful life at work and at home, and you could blend the two? Are you in? Would you love to go on that journey? All right, well, great. Well, welcome to Inner Safari, and I am your guide today, and I am going to take you on that inner journey. And safari is a word. In Swahili, it means journey, expedition. In Arabic, it also means referring to a journey. How many people have been on a safari, like an African safari before? Wow, a few of you. Okay, how many people have been on, other types of trips and journeys? And, so often on journeys, we have the opportunity to reflect and see the world and ourselves in a different way by those experiences. And so today, we don't have to go all the way to Africa, which is about 13,000 miles away, or maybe a 20-hour plane flight. We're going to stay right here. We're going to spend 70 minutes together. And the journey that I invite you to take with me is only 18 inches. And it's from your brain to your heart. So as part of this journey, I invite you to have an open mind, to be willing to use your imagination, and to connect your thoughts and your feelings with your heart as you go on this journey for deepened self-awareness. So as your guide today, we are going to have some discussion, tools, and activities that I will introduce you to, and you are all now receiving a field guide, because on every safari, you need to have your field guide with you. So that is being passed around right now, and this is going to be your guidebook. We're going to do a lot of different activities. You will have a lot of time today for thought and reflection and journaling, and you're going to leave with your own personal success formula, okay, for living just a more amazing life. So did everybody get a field guide yet? They're coming around. If you didn't, raise your hand. All right, everybody's got one? Great. Okay, so to start on this journey, now, while we don't have to go very far, what I would love for you to do is to take a very high-level perspective of yourself. And so in order to do that, I want to take you to page 4 in your field guide, okay? And what I would like you to do is use your imagination and imagine that you are from another planet. You are somebody who took a long journey and you arrived here onto Earth, and you are an observer. And you came here to observe a certain human here on Earth. And that human that person's name is your name. So you are stepping outside of yourself, and you are the observer from another planet. And you have amazing powers. First of all, one of your powers is that you are invisible to this human. So you get to be the objective observer. And you have other special powers. You can be completely neutral. So from on this other planet, there's no negativity. There's no judgment in that way. You get to be neutral and compassionate in your observations. Okay, and you have some other amazing powers. You get to actually feel what that person is feeling, and you get to know their thoughts. So as the observer, your first assignment is for you to observe this person, and their name is your name, okay? And you are going to observe them for one whole day. So I want you to start with a full day, a typical day. So perhaps that was yesterday, it was a full day. And I want you to start and with that person, known as you, your name, waking up in the morning. And I want you, as the observer, to document, what is this person's appearance when they wake up in the morning, and who are they? What are their activities as they get up in their day? What do you notice that they're doing? What are their interactions? And as they go through their activities in their day, as they're getting up, I want you to go through each of that and notice what they are thinking and feeling. So, for example, if I were to use myself, Lisa Rykert, as an example yesterday, and I'm the observer from another planet, I noticed this person, this woman named Lisa. She appears to be a 51-year-old female. I saw her awaken around sunrise. She woke up, and she seems to have a pet cat, this orange creature, next to her, and she engages a lot with this cat. When she engages with the cat, she talks to the cat. The cat seems to make her smile and feel happy. She gets out of bed. One of the first things she does is she goes and she makes a pot of what they call coffee and feeds her cat, and goes outside and feeds some other animals. And then I see her eating breakfast. I see her, she's thinking about her day. I notice that she's thinking about her work day, and she is feeling excited and also making a lot of plans in her head. I hear her thinking about the people that she's going to be interacting with. And she seems very content with her work. Now I'm seeing her go, and she's sitting in a chair most of her day. She's in her house sitting in a chair, and she's using this thing they call a smartphone, and she has that near her all day long. She's got some earbuds connecting to it, and she's talking to people through this phone. And I notice she calls herself a life and career coach, and she's talking to people all day long and listening to them and strategizing with them about life situations and career situations. And when somebody tells her about one of their goals or accomplishments for the week, I see that she feels so satisfied and so joyful. Or when somebody is going through something or is frustrated, I can tell that she's feeling similarly. Or if somebody misses an appointment, she seems to get frustrated. Oh, that person, she got frustrated, she had an appointment, and the person didn't give her notice. So she does this for most of her day. I also see her interacting with another person in her house, her partner. And the partner also seems to work at home, and sometimes they'll have lunch together and engage. And then after work, I notice that she likes to go outside and go on walks. She's going on a walk on a trail. I notice that she seems very content and inspired by being in nature and walking with her partner. Then she came home, and she's eating dinner in front of a television and listening to what they call the news. And I noticed that Lisa, her energy changes. Wow, she seems to feel gets so angry and frustrated. She moves through these waves of emotions from anger, frustration, depression, sadness, aggravation. Interesting, but she does that. She still watches the television that brings up all of these emotions. And then she spends more time on her phone and a laptop, engaging with people. She seems to be at her best when she's connecting with individuals. I hear her, thinking over her day at night. I see her getting into bed. She's reading, and she's got that cat by her side again, curled up with her in bed, and that was one of her typical days. And so I want you to go through your day and note down your activities, your habits, and how you're feeling. So I want you to take 5 or 10 minutes and note down some of those significant things. What do you find yourself doing all the time? As the observer, note down those activities: appearance, activities, interactions, thoughts, and feelings. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. All right. So your observer entered his or her field notes, and they were so compassionate that they magically left you those notes. So you get to read them. And so as you look over those as yourself now, what are you noticing? What are you noticing from these notes? Where are you spending your time? What are your most dominant thoughts? What kinds of reactions are you having as you go about your day? Are there any surprises as you look over those notes? Yeah? Does anybody want to share what they've noticed? Any ahas from those observations? Okay. Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that helped you pinpoint it. Thank you. So what this person shared was that she found that her dominant thoughts were when she's going to work, thinking about work, getting ready for work, noticing, she's thinking about all those emails, not being able to get to the emails, and noticing that she's feeling disappointed in herself from thinking about reflecting on that. So thank you for sharing. And yeah, from that noticing, is there, what does that noticing help you realize, if anything? From the compassionate observer,
I noticed how negative I feel about it, and with that information now I can kind of get a plan going of responding to those emails better, because now I realize that's the main thing that's on my mind when I get to work. And I've been doing some avoiding because some of those emails are tough to answer, but it seems like I need to get a plan in place to kind of set a time to respond to those.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate your sharing, and what an insight. And how many people can relate to that scenario about, dwelling on work and the pressure that we put on ourselves about getting to everything. So, yeah. So thank you. And yeah, so, just using this, being able to step outside of yourself and to be the observer in a non-judgmental non-negative, no judging in a negative way, but looking compassionately at yourself as another being, and what you're doing can really deepen your own self-awareness and help you, recognize what's going on and then craft a plan to address it. So wonderful. So I want you to keep in mind these field guides. While this is your first journey using these guides, I hope that you can continue to use them and you come back and you use these exercises. So that's the first step. I wanted you to have, the high-level perspective of yourself, to understand where you are, where you're spending your time, and what your dominant thoughts are. And now I want you to step back inside of yourself, and we are going to do a self-assessment. So now that you got this little glimpse of a typical day and you're seeing like where you're spending your time, I want you to go back within and being yourself to do this Wheel of Life assessment. We are on page 6 in your field guide, and these are 8 main categories of life in general. And if you don't like the name of a category, you can change it. Just cross it off and define it as you want. Maybe personal growth to you is like finishing up school. Maybe you're going to school, or maybe health is health and fitness, or something like that. Or maybe significant other is love. So you can create your own definitions for these categories. But what I'd like you to do is look at these major categories of your life, and I want you to rate your own level of satisfaction in each of these categories. So 0 is very dissatisfied, 10 is highly satisfied. So 0 starts at the center and 10 goes out. And just draw a line, like the example, in each of those categories, rating where you are right now today. So this is a self-assessment of how you're feeling about these areas of your life today in terms of your satisfaction level. And I am going to give you 2 minutes to do that. All right, so now you have drawn those lines in those different categories of your life. And what does your wheel look like? Is it a nice round circle with all the lines connecting, or is it kind of bumpy? Maybe, that wheel goes up and down and up and down. Yeah, well, it's very common to have a bumpy wheel. And, it's just human nature that we tend to give time and attention to different areas of our lives over others. And so we all have our own unique formula for balance. Different things, are weighted for us, are more important, are priorities in our life. And so that's okay. So in looking at that wheel, it's important for you to define, what would give it more balance? Which areas of your life are lower in those scores, that you'd like to make to increase that score? What would bring it up a point or two? What could you do? Or, what areas of your life are you noticing that, wow, they're around an 8, a 9, a 10. That's pretty good. I'm doing pretty good here. So for those areas, what's working well? What's working well, and why are you satisfied? And how might you take a look at what is so satisfying about those areas, and how might you replicate it in some of those other areas of your life that you'd like to bring up in satisfaction? Okay? Any questions or comments? Any ahas that anybody would like to share? Yes? We have a microphone coming. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This was very revealing to me, because it turns out that I have more focus and satisfaction on myself than I thought. And really making the transition from being a hands-on mom to having an adult child, where I put everyone else first, my family. So I'm realizing now that I am actually making the transition and focusing more on myself, and personal growth was where I had the most satisfaction.
Wow, excellent. Thank you for sharing. And just by simply taking the time to stop and reflect and assess, can just bring you greater awareness. Any other ahas or questions? Questions about how to increase satisfaction or strategies? Okay. All right. Well, now that you have created your wheel of life, the next step that I invite you to take is for all of those 8 areas on pages 7 and 8, what I want you to do to be able to increase your satisfaction is I want you to think of 3 wishes you have for yourself in each of those areas and list them. And I want you to come from a place of, again, using your imagination. And if your life could be a 10 in each of those areas, what would 3 wishes be for you? What wishes would you have, for example, in friends and family? For example, I wish to spend more time with my friends and family. I wish to have more time to travel, to see friends who don't live so close by. I wish that I took more time to let my friends and family know how much I really appreciate them and love them. Significant other. I wish I made more time to have date nights. I wish I was as good of a listener to my significant other as I am with my clients. So just, what are wishes that you could identify for yourself in these categories? And don't worry about being realistic. This is for you to have some inspiration and awareness, and for you not to worry about the how. This is a place of creativity and imagination at this point in your journey. So I'd like you to take 5 minutes and try to come up with 3 wishes in each of those 8 categories for yourself. All right, well, if you haven't completed your wishes, you can come back to them. But there was an interesting goal study years ago at the Dominican University of California. And this researcher, Gail Matthews, discovered that when people share their goals, that they are 43% more likely to be successful. And when they just think about it, actually when they think about their goal, they're 43% more likely to be successful in achieving that goal. When they think about and share that goal with another person, they are then even more likely. They're around 62% more likely to be successful. And if they think about it, share it, and give a progress report weekly to that person, that friend, then they're like 74% more likely to be successful. So there's a lot of power in thinking about what you want. I know right now we're being broad with wishes, but you can turn your wishes into goals. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to give you the chance to make your wish just more powerful by sharing it with somebody. So I want you to partner up, just find a partner, and I would love for you to share, I want you to share 10 of your wishes. So find a partner, and you're just going to share with each other. And you're going to share and declare. So you've written them, and you've shared them with someone. And that's going to give some power to what you're thinking about. So you can just share 5 that you feel comfortable sharing. And let's see here. The person with the longest hair is going to share first. All right? So the person with the longest hair, you will share first for 2 minutes, and then I will call time, and then you will switch, okay? So person with the longest hair will share first, 2 minutes. Okay, thank your partners. Each thank your partners, and we will wrap up. All right, well, it's great to just hear all the chatter. Everybody's sharing, so yeah, maybe that started out as being a little scary, but yeah, did you feel inspired by hearing other people's wishes? Did anybody talk to somebody and you had the same wish? Yeah? All right. And now maybe you have 5 new wishes from listening to your partner. So I encourage you, as you hear people, you might be, hey, I want that wish too, or that's a great idea. So yes. So it can be really fun and empowering. It can be risky and scary to share, what we imagine, but it can be really empowering, and then you can find support when you can share and declare the things that you want for yourself. So now that you are in this mindset of more, unlimited possibility thinking. You've shared, you've been inspired from your partner. We are going to focus on, as you've looked at the significant areas of your life, you've rated satisfaction levels, we're going to focus on what matters most to you. So we're going to do, of course, another exercise. And on page 9 in your book, there is a list of some common values. Just some common, there's a list of words there in the work category and in the life category. And of course, those categories easily overlap. And again, these are some common values or words, and if you are looking for a different word, feel free to add a word on that list or cross something out and make it your own. So again, on page 9, we're going to explore what's most important to you. And what I want you to do, this is a 2-step exercise. So first, what I want you to do on page 9 is circle the things where you find yourself spending most of your time at work and in life. So look at those categories and circle like, oh, man, what would be your top 3 or 5 areas? And again, if that word or that activity is not on your list, add it there. For example, maybe some people aren't in meetings all the time, so you might cross out meetings, and maybe instead you're not in enough meetings. Maybe you feel isolated. Maybe that's the category for you. Or I also see that under work, the word leading is there twice, so you might cross out one of those and replace it with something else, like supporting or acknowledging. So where are you spending most of your time at work and most of your time outside of work in life? Okay, I'll give you a minute to complete that first step. Okay, so now that you've completed that first step, let's just, by show of hands, let's find out what maybe some of the most common ones are. How many people feel they spend most of their time doing their best work? Few. Good. All right. So that's great that you feel like you're able to and you have the opportunity. How many people feel like they spend a lot of time or most of their time in meetings? Oh, surprisingly, just maybe a third. All right. How many people feel that they spend a lot of their time stressing? Oh, all right, maybe about half. Okay, and how about in life? Let's see. How many people feel like they spend most of their time with family? All right, again, maybe a little more than half. How many people feel like they spend most of their time bored? So just a couple. So a lot of you are leading very exciting lives. Great. All right. And how many people feel that they are spending a lot of their time watching TV? Or let's say TV and or in front of a computer, like on Facebook or something like that, or in front of their phone. Yeah. Okay, that's a common one. All right. So now I want you to examine where you're spending most of your time. Now, the second step is to underline the things that matter most to you. Where would it matter most to you? Where would you like to be spending your time at work? Where it would matter most to you? Where would you like to be spending your time? Where it would matter most to you in life? Take a minute to do that. Okay, so now you have your list. You've circled where you're spending most of your time. You've underlined what matters most. Now, is what's circled what's underlined? Are you noticing that, or are your lists separate? How many people have things they've circled and underlined, the same activities? All right, great. How many people have found things that they underlined that were not circled? Yeah. Wow. All right. So It's really good to take notice of that, of what matters, and then, what's getting in the way, and how can you make sure that those activities are in alignment. What you're spending the most time on is what matters most to you. All right. Now we are going to move into, helping you really clarify how to have what matters most to you. So we are moving on in your field guide on your inner safari to identify what you want to do, have, and be. So in the words of Tony Robbins, we can change our lives, we can do, have, and be exactly what we wish. And I totally believe that. Here's a fun story shared by a coach and mentor that I've briefly worked with, Jack Canfield. Does anybody know who Jack Canfield is? Chicken Soup for the Soul, co-author, wrote all those series, one of the best-selling author. Well, he shared a story about a client that he was working with. He was working with this senior level woman who had lost her job. There were some business changes and she lost her job. And she just wasn't feeling motivated when she was working with Jack as her coach. She just said, Jack, I'm really not feeling motivated to go back into the work world. And, I just can't figure out what I want to do next. And so Jack said, well, what do you love to do? What do you want to do? And she said, well, what I want to do, what I love to do, there's no job for that. I can't make a living doing that. And he's like, well, what makes you think that? What is it that you love to do? And so she said, well, I have to confess, while I've been home the last several weeks, I am just, okay, I forgot to tell you, this was back in the 1990s, okay, before the internet, okay? So she said, I've just been really enjoying sitting home all day and watching these soap operas. I just absolutely love them. And when I was at work, I liked them, but, I could never, track who was married to who, what was going on, who died, who came back from being dead. And so, now I just, I love doing that. So it's really a guilty pleasure. And I'd love to get paid to sit around and watch soap operas all day, but I can't do that, can I? And so Jack, being the awesome coach that he is, said, well, what makes you think that you couldn't do that? Let's get creative here. You are creative. She was a marketing executive. You're a creating marketing professional. How might you get paid to do that? She said, well, I remember when I was working, I couldn't keep up. And so maybe what I could do is I could watch the soap operas and I could write a summary of those soap operas and then share them with the people who are missing them. Because again, this is before on-demand TV and the internet and all of that. So she said, yeah, I'll start doing that. So she is the woman who ended up creating Soap Opera Digest. She's watched soap operas and wrote the synopsis and created this weekly digest. Now, mind you, she had some transferable skills. She had a marketing background. So she used those talents and her passion, and she created Soap Opera Digest. And that became a successful hit. It became a weekly digest. It was later bought by a huge media company. And this woman, and her name is Angela Shapiro, she went on to grow and become like a head of all kinds of entertainment studios, TV and entertainment studios. So you can get creative with what you love to do. You can have, be, and do anything if you get really creative and put your mind and your energy into it, and you share and brainstorm and get support around it. So I want to invite you to do this activity, and we are now on page 11, and I want you to get creative and think about what do you want to have for yourself? What results do you want to produce? What new stuff do you want to have in your life? What circumstances would you like to experience? What do you daydream about having? So I want you to take 1 minute and identify a couple of things that you want to have in your life. And again, this is with the mindset of unlimited possibility thinking. Think of what Angela Shapiro did. Write down all the things that you would love to have in your life. All right, now I want you to think about what you want to do. What would you love to be doing in your life? Think about, again, what matters most. What activities do you want to be involved with? Where do you want to be spending your time? What actions do you want to take? What projects do you want to be doing? What makes your heart sing? Okay, now I want you to think about what you want to be or who you want to be in your life. So what values do you want to express? What attitudes do you want to have? What moods do you want to exude? What conversations do you want to have with yourself and with others? So who do you want to be? You can reflect on the observer exercise. You can reflect on what matters most. All right, now that you have given those some thought, I want to invite you again to share with someone. Okay, I want you to share one thing you would like to have, one thing you'd like to do, and one thing you'd like to be. So find a partner. It could be the same partner or a different partner, and this time the partner with the birthday closest to today, whether it's in the past or coming up, the partner with the birthday closest to today will share first. So find out who has a birthday closest to today, and you will share first for 1 minute, and then we will switch. Share what you'd like to do, have, and be. Okay, and now thank your partner and switch. Now the next person, go ahead and share what you would like to do, have, and be. Okay, thank your partner and wrap up that conversation. All right, so did anyone hear something shared by the partner that you found so inspiring? You want to share it? Something somebody wanted to have, do, or be. Somebody have something they want to share? It can be your partner or it could be you if you want to share. Okay, yes.
I was so inspired by my partner's list that I put it to my own. I want to be better at cooking.
All right. Excellent. Better at cooking. That's a good one. Yeah. So again, from sharing with your partner or hearing, what they want to do, have, and be, you can add some of those things to your list or make it your own. And I hope that you have felt inspired. I know we are coming toward the end of our time together, our journey today. And so as you reflect on this expedition, this inner safari, I want to wrap up on page 12. And I want you to just think about, what did you discover for yourself today as a result of these activities, as a result of reflection, as a result of sharing? What did you discover about yourself today? So, and that's key, is keep it focused on you. It's the inner journey. So I'd like you to, complete that sentence. I discovered that what was it about yourself that you discovered? And then I want you to move through the list and identify, what are you now more deeply self-aware of? As a result of these reflections, what do you intend to do? So an intention it's a broad thought that you put out gently into the universe. It's not a specific goal. It's my intention is to be this way, or to do this, or to have this. It's a way to be gentle with yourself and setting the intention. What do you intend for yourself? What do you intend to do, be, have as a result of today? And what's one thing you can focus on? One thing you want. I want to what? And then how do you make that a really solid commitment? What's one thing as a result of this inner exploration that you have realized about yourself that you are now willing to create a commitment about? What is one thing that you can commit to for yourself? All right. Well, it has been a pleasure to serve as your guide today on your inner safari, and I wish you many continued adventures on your own journey of self-exploration and discovery. And may you continue to have a wonderful day today at the Now Conference. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the opportunity to share. All right, take care.